Sona, you are my favorite champion, and I love playing support, but why do you like playing support?
I started cosplaying because I'm a really big fangirl and I wanted to show my love for the characters by bringing them to life. I kind of feel like cosplayers are like the unofficial cheerleaders of the esports team. They're like the mascots and they interact with everybody. They interact with the crowd. I think the pro players really like seeing them. A lot of times when I've been in cosplay at Worlds, I'll have like the teams come up and like, oh my god, I want a picture with you. And I equally want a picture with them, so it's really exciting. I think the similarities between like professional gaming and cosplaying, especially if you're gonna start doing like the professional cosplay scene, is it's a lot of work. A lot of people just see the fun part and like the glamorous side of like the pro players. They get to travel and get paid to play video games. They don't see their 12-hour work days of practicing, and they don't see your cosplayers like 3 all-nighters in a row. The difficult thing about being like a professional cosplayer, or a lot of new cosplayers coming in who want to get a bunch of gigs don't understand, is when a company hires you, like, you're now working for that company, so you have to represent them, you have to learn their brand, you're now a spokesperson for the company. And not all the time are you in cosplay, but you should kind of in your head be like, I'm wearing this costume from my favorite video game and or this company. I should represent them the best way I can.
He showed us how to own the jungle with Malzahar. It's Snoopy.
I think one thing they should be cognizant of is that there's a balance in their life when they're doing it. They don't just become so one-sided. So if they're still at school, making sure they're actually getting their school work done whilst also focusing on pro gaming. There is a balance, and you can notice at a critical point if you become really good. That's the individual's going to know that, not necessarily the mum or dad. As a professional or anyone that's in the public limelight, you've always got critics. The hard thing with gaming specifically is I live on the internet, I live on Reddit, I live on Twitter, I live on Facebook, and I see every single critic. And that's very hard as a pro player, especially early on in your career, to deal with that. Luckily, when the start of my career was really strong and I got off to a good head start, and then when the critics started to come later on, I had somewhat the opportunity to digest that and deal with it a lot better. But I've seen some players get, honestly, their careers prematurely ended because they just couldn't handle the pressure from the community. And it's very hard. That's also a coach's job and responsibility, is to help put a barrier between the internet and their players. One of the biggest impacts for me as a player wasn't necessarily the competition. I had the opportunity to tell part of my story to an audience, and it resonated very well with a lot of people. And I got some of the most emotionally touching messages from fans all around the world. And when you get those really touching messages, it really means a lot and resonates very significantly, and that's something I'll hold for the rest of my life, is those small messages you get from a fan where you impacted or changed their life. When you first start out as a pro player, there's really no one around you. Your parents don't understand this world at all. And I very quickly identified some mentors in my career that have carried me throughout, and those were team owners that had been in the industry for a very long time. Alexander Garfield was an incredibly smart guy, and he mentored me through a lot of my early career. And then I found some great mentors at Riot Games who helped steer my personal development and also my career development over the last 4 years as well. The industry gave me a lot over the past 5 years, and one of the best things I can do now that I've transitioned out of playing is somewhat give back. And I've now approached a lot of younger players, or even some of the older players, as they start to transition out, and help them. I genuinely just want to make sure that the players are taken care of. The problem with the industry right now is it's growing up and evolving very fast, but the backbone and the infrastructure and support is not quite there yet. And some of these pro players and kids just don't have the support network that they require. And I'm not the answer, but I want to try and bridge the gap a little bit and help them as they either transition out or they're getting involved in the industry. So one of the things I do for the pro players is I might negotiate their contracts, for example. And it's actually really, really sad, because in some instances I've seen a player get a contract offer for $30,000 and they're so excited just to start competing. But then I'll come into the room and start talking to their manager, and suddenly that contract turned into $60,000. But that kid was about to get paid half of his salary for a year. And that company specifically was very capable of paying that. Just this kid knew nothing about it. and we're not at a point where there's a lot of individual representation for players. So I want to somewhat bridge that gap as the industry starts to grow up. I don't think I'll ever consider my career a successful one. I don't think I would ever want to be content or complacent to think that. I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to learn, and I want to help shape the future of an industry that gave me a lot. And that's kind of my mission right now.
Got him.
Nice.
Nice. Good job, guys. Nice. No! Oh, you stole the penalty.
What's up, guys? I'm Chris, also known as Pwiff. I manage a lot of the communications we do at Riot Games.
I'm GBay99. I'm a YouTuber, streamer, and avid player of Ranked.
I first started realizing I wanted to do something professionally with gaming when I was going towards graduating high school, and I was having all sorts of counselors and teachers asking me what to do with my life, and everyone had always told me ever since I was young that I should do what I love, that I should just find something I love and then do it as much as I can. And the only thing I'd really known that I had loved way back then was video games. That was the only thing that I could never get tired of, so I figured I wanted to do something in video games. I dropped out of college to pursue my video game dreams.
Let's just go ahead and jump into some games, and maybe for once in my life, I can finally win a laning phase. That'll be the day, right? All right.
The original dream was I wanted to be a pro player, but it was a very difficult task to try and actually make that become a reality. So around some way along the line, I started transitioning my dreams more from being a professional player to doing something else in the industry, mostly with YouTube.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name is GBay99. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Today, I'm going to go and eat a sock. So last night, TSM were playing Renegades in the North American LCS, and I was watching the game. I was thinking, you know, this game is probably going to be a stomp, right? And so I tweeted this: if Renegades manages to beat TSM, then I'll eat a sock on YouTube. And today, I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna go ahead and eat a sock.
I think sports in general are a very exciting thing. I mean, games are fun, and seeing games being played at the highest level of competition is an exciting thing to see for anyone that has any interest at all in that game, even if it's just a casual one. And that's not something that we've gotten to see that often from video games until the past couple of years. We've had competition for traditional events for as long as we can remember, but seeing video games being regarded in the same light is really exciting because that same sort of competitive drive is still there.
You've been playing, I guess, like, what rank around are you right now?
I'm around upper platinum at the moment.
Okay, so I'm like that, but I tell everyone I'm diamond.
I think one thing esports has over traditional sports in that sense is there's a lot more creativity. In traditional sports, you just have the physical limitations of reality of what a human being can do and what sort of sport you can build around that. But in esports, the possibilities are limitless. I mean, a video game can be anything. There are so many different types of video games out there and so many different types of competitive games out there. That's something that really lends itself to esports that is really exciting about the medium. In esports, it's really weird where almost every pro player is not only dealing with the struggle of trying to become the best in the world at this niche craft that not a lot of people look up to or respect, but they also have to deal with the struggles of just becoming an adult. A lot of these kids are still kids between ages 16 and 21, 22, where normally they're just learning how to live a life, learning how to pay bills, pay their taxes, get a job, and live the way a normal human being does in the 21st century, and they have to balance that on top of being the best in the world at a game. It's something that's really difficult, and I see a lot of players sacrificing a lot of the personal aspects of that, where they are not always the most prepared when they end up leaving the industry and going out into the real world, but still they gain all sorts of life lessons from going through the industry. There are plenty of people that I look up to in the industry. I mean, I could go on forever. There are plenty of great YouTubers, plenty of great streamers, and plenty of great rioters, or just anyone that works on the business side of things that don't typically get that much credit. But the big YouTubers that have been around forever, the Donkeys and the Civ HDs, who've been making videos longer than I have. I consider myself a pretty old YouTuber in the league scene for doing YouTube videos for around 3 years. But there are people that have been doing it a lot longer than I have, and they are definitely people I look up to.
Not bad.
I think one trait they all share is probably they're able to stay true to their character. Whatever it is that they do, whether it's Lily Pichu and her sort of persona, or Civ HD and his attitude towards the game, or Donkey and his style of comedy, no matter what the community is yelling at them about or what they might be getting some sort of criticism or hate about, they're always able to stay true to who they are and still make content that's relevant because of it.
I will see you all tomorrow in our next episode of Road to Diamond, but until then, thank you very much for watching. Good luck in solo queue, and have a wonderful day. Still have some stuck in my teeth.